Hello my fellow Homo sapiens. You can now join my channel as a member to get exclusive perks like early access to videos, private community posts, and more. You can also now use super features for priority response from me. I also have a Patreon page that I put extra content on, including reactions, sins, Reddit stories, and more. If you want to fly yourself even deeper into the endless void of internet content, I've got you covered.
Revelation 21.
The Book of Revelation, also Revelation.
Pointing things out and making up words in the first two sins? Oh boy.
The tabernacle of God.
Hi there, viewers. A quick note from one of the TVSins writers here. What is this? I wanted to make a joke about God's tabernacle sounding rude, but Aaron, the narrator, said it was just my mind being in the gut because it was, and I should leave it alone. So as revenge, I'm going to make him say tabernacle 10 times. Tabernacle, tabernacle, tabernacle.
Ground is too cold to dig. We'll bury your father in the spring.
Isn't cremation a better option all around?
Discount Jeremy doesn't know shit about Christianity. Actually, that's not a sin in and of itself, that's a good thing by and large, but the sin is for him not understanding that the show is accurately portraying Christians. My point is that while the Bible technically doesn't prohibit cremation, many Christians still believe it's wrong or at least better to bury your dead.
How much do we have left?
Keep the whole town on rations. Maybe a week.
Having a conversation about dwindling food supplies out in the open and risking your subservient flock quickly transforming into a riotous mob.
Hey Aaron, do you see the flock anywhere in this shot? Don't you think that if they're having this conversation here, then it means they're alone? Jesus Christ, think.
Ellie, you ass. Why are you torturing this poor man with dried jerky goodness that he can't possibly reach? What's he gonna do? Tongue it into his mouth? Hope that the rat from Endgame nudges it in there?
Or raise his arm and put it in his mouth once he's strong and awake enough? Also, Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture ref.
I'm gonna be right back, okay?
Don't tell Joel you're going to be right back if you plan on hunting. You're going to give the guy an anxiety attack as a quick potty break turns into, I'll see you in a few hours because I'm going to hike through the woods and kill a deer.
But this is exactly the type of thing that Ellie would do on a character level, even if it might not be the best thing objectively. This is yet another example of Discount Jeremy sitting characters for acting like real people.
Well, what do you think?
I don't see anybody.
And I'm just going to assume that gunshot we heard was Bigfoot cracking a knuckle.
Medicine? Like for infections.
I understand Ellie needs to specify antibiotics, but in a world where infected is associated with the fungapocalypse, I'd be more direct about the origin of the infection and not leave quite so much room for the interpretation.
Ellie is a child. Let me repeat myself, because honestly I have to remind him of this every single episode. Ellie is a child.
It's hard to trust strangers, I know, but I honestly mean you no harm.
But if a stranger says they honestly mean you no harm, then you can totally trust them. And I honestly won't sin this for being something only sketchy villains say.
You are literally agreeing with what the show is saying and treating it like a sin. This doesn't make Ellie trust him. She very clearly still doesn't. So how the hell is this a sin?
No such thing as luck. No, I believe everything happens for a reason.
I'd love for this to become a 4-hour philosophical treatise exploring the concepts of divine providence, free will, determinism, and random chance. But I honestly don't think any of you would want that, even if you think you might. I'll just say this. If your go-to tenet is everything happens for a reason, you better be prepared to give account for some pretty nasty shit you just hand-waved away.
Are you under the impression that the show is saying David is right? 'Cause it never does, which means that this whole sin is invalid. I mean, you're sinning a flawed character who is so flawed that they are the villain for believing something stupid that tons of real people in the real world really believe. Do you see the problem?
It does. I can prove it to you.
The story David shares is about being led to Ellie and Joel after they killed one of his people and is indistinguishable from luck. So no, he can't prove it.
Again, the show never says that David is correct when he says this. It only says that David believes what he said. Jesus, it's like watching TV with a 5-year-old. He takes everything at face value.
James, lower the gun.
And of course, James turns up at the perfect time to hear this story and be outraged, and at a perfect time to catch Ellie off guard.
You say all of this as if it's a problem with the show. I mean, the whole point of David blabbing on about religious crap and the story about Ellie and Joel was to stall until James showed up. Yes, James showed up at the end of the story, but based on the fact that David was stalling, it's safe to say that he simply would have kept talking if James hadn't shown up then. As for Ellie being off guard, that was because David was talking. Everything in this scene seems convenient when you remove all context from it.
She didn't kill anybody.
She has, and he couldn't have possibly known one way or the other.
I know you're not with a group.
You actually don't know shit, David. For all you know, Ellie and Joel were scavengers for a large group. You weren't even there. Stop making characters omniscient just so you can dismiss possible plot holes.
Hell, he does it so often that I'm gonna do this from now on. Discount Jeremy takes something a character says at face value ex machina. I also want to address the potential rebuttal that TVSins fanboys would undoubtedly try to use, that TVSins is all just a joke and he doesn't actually take things at face value. He quite clearly stated in this sin that he thinks the show made David omniscient, which means that he genuinely believes everything characters say must automatically be true. This is concerningly similar to young children not understanding the concept of a lie. If they hear something, it's automatically the truth because their brains aren't developed enough to comprehend the fallibility of human knowledge. What I'm saying is that Aaron Dicer is watching TV shows with the same cognitive ability as a 3-year-old, and that's not even really a joke.
Joe, where the f do I put this?
Ellie gets unbelievably lucky here. I know that injecting a penicillin shot into the wound sounds logical, but I still feel like Ellie took the old stab in the dark adage a bit too literally.
Admits that it sounds logical, still sends it.
Yes, let's leave the t-shirt covered in infected blood over the infected wound you just risked your life to disinfect.
Ellie is a child. Is he not hearing me, or does he not understand what a child is?
Big one.
Bringing a dead animal to a place where people are actively eating dinner. Take the damn thing to a side door and stop swinging your dick around while everyone's eating.
He mentions that David is swinging his dick around, meaning he knows David is showing off here, but fails to understand that this is an aspect of his character and therefore not a mistake of the show.
Don't give the horse snow. Melt it so the horse has water. Eating snow without any other form of water actually dehydrates you and forces the body to use more water to melt the snow and regulate your internal temperature.
Is it maybe a problem with him not understanding English very well? Fine, how about Spanish? Ella es una niña.
This man's not already dead. He's dangerous.
Which makes me wonder why you waited so long to pursue them both. Either Joel is dead and Ellie has no reason to hang around overnight, or you're giving Joel time to heal instead of attacking when you know he's weak.
Are you seriously asking why they didn't try to attack a potentially dangerous man at night when that man, as far as they know, has home field advantage?
I don't mean to question your sense of mercy, David. We bring that girl back with us. She's just another mouth to feed.
Revealing that you're about to do a thing by starting your sentence saying you don't intend to do the thing.
You do that all the time. You'll say something that disproves your point, but then you still make the point. Hypocrisy is hypocritical.
If we leave her out here, she'll die. Yeah, maybe that's God's will.
I will silence you with my silence, because my silence is much more powerful than your very valid point. But really, the answer is that these guys could easily hunt and kill Ellie, but the show needs to keep her alive, so we get the big baby girl moment at the end. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I just want us to be honest about it.
Incorrect. This scene is showing us that David wants to keep Ellie alive. While we don't know his motivation yet, that gets explained later. As for everyone listening to David on the subject, I guess you aren't familiar with the concept of a leader.
I'm gonna lead them away from you. But if anybody makes it down here, you f***ing kill them. You got it?
Let's talk about Ellie's plan. She's leaving Joel pretty much defenseless while she runs off to get captured. The men don't know what house they're in, so why not barricade yourselves in, hide, and buy time for Joel to wake up? Even if they do find you, you're missing out on the perfect opportunity to home alone some
This is such a dumb sin. First, she didn't leave Joel defenseless, she left him with a knife. Second, the next scene literally disproves your claim that barricading themselves in the basement and hiding would work. One of the guys realizes that Ellie barricaded the basement and very easily breaks in. Also, Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture.
Do it.
Listen, ammo has to be scarce for everyone in the future, but especially so for this isolated cannibal immunity. So is punctuating your intentions with a rifle shot the best way to use said ammo?
I mean, it worked.
You so hungry for vengeance? Deliver it.
Judging their bloodlust when the only reason you're pushing so hard to keep Ellie alive is so you can make her into a child bride and or aperitif.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Joel not only survives Ellie's first aid, but is also strong enough to stand up and kill this man after one night's rest.
Discount Jeremy has never heard of adrenaline.
I started worrying you wouldn't wake up.
Why? You're literally gonna eat her.
This is a very blatant manipulation of the episode. David ends up deciding to eat Ellie, but in this scene that he's talking about, he has not come to that decision yet. He actually wants to work with Ellie. You are using information that has not yet been established.
Timothy? Oh, shit.
Joel finding the strength to take out Timothy was so ridiculous the camera refused to even film it. In fact, it's so ridiculous that I can feel Grogu reaching from The Mandalorian into this series to help Joel out.
Discount Jeremy has never heard of adrenaline. Wait, why am I getting deja vu? Also, Discount Jeremy makes a pop.
What was I supposed to do? Let them starve?
No, but I feel like we might be skipping the many steps between let them starve and feed them to each other.
Yet again, Discount Jeremy is forgetting that it's okay for characters to be imperfect or even straight up horrible people. David is a villain. He's not supposed to be a good dude.
You remind me of me. You're a natural leader. You're smart, loyal.
You're getting all that from a fireside chat and her refusal to share her name? Yes, it happens to be true, but how does he know that? Did he get screeners for the first 7 episodes?
The first thing Ellie did when she met David was demand medicine, which demonstrates both good leadership in never leaving a man behind and putting the squad above yourself, and also loyalty, for obvious reasons. As for her being smart, they had a whole conversation about religion, not to mention the fact that Ellie never agreed to go with David, which was a pretty smart decision.
What does cordyceps do? Is it evil? No, it loves.
Not quite sure I've seen enough evidence thus far to believe this fungus is capable of love.
Discount Jeremy takes something a character says at face value ex machina.
Think of what we could do together, as strong as we are.
No offense, David, but Vader's join me was a little more persuasive.
Discount Jeremy makes a...
That looks pretty real to me.
Hey! Troy Baker, thanks for calling me back. Listen, sorry you lost out.
Skip.
Ellie, why are you wasting time with the log? You've got a room full of windows and chairs. Smash window, exit, escape.
Do you not realize that even if she escapes the building, David will still be able to chase her? Or does he think that a child can outrun an adult? Just how many times did you watch Obi-Wan Kenobi, bud?
Wow, Ellie threw that log in the one spot it would catch something on fire. Talk about lucky. Talk about everything happening for a reason. David seems totally chill with the fact that this lodge made of wood is on fire, as if he knows Grogu is on his way from knocking out Timothy to prevent this fire from spreading.
I love how he mentions that the entire building is made out of wood seconds after saying that there was only one spot where the log could have started a fire. This level of utter stupidity is honestly difficult to believe.
I know you're not infected. No one infected fights this hard to stay alive.
Man, this is just an episode of David making very confident assessments based on all knowledge.
How is this a sin, though? It's a character acting like a real human rather than being an emotionless, 100% rational robot.
So when David said,
There's no way out, Ellie. The doors are locked.
he meant all the doors are locked other than this fire escape that Ellie will conveniently find now that the danger's past.
Did you really not stop to think that maybe, just maybe, David said all the doors were locked because he wanted to keep Ellie in the room and it may not have actually been true?
But also, do you maybe want to save the heartfelt reunion for when you aren't still dangerously close to the people whose population you've decreased by 6, whose leader you've killed, and whose home is burning down thanks to you?
This reunion only consists of Joel assuring Ellie that it's him, giving her a hug to calm her down, and then they immediately leave. That's it. What the hell is your point?
She said, well, there's no evidence to support my position, but I don't need no stinking evidence.